Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I wanted to go to the quartermaster and do a very in-depth look about everything he does. He gives perks and skills. And funny story, I just recorded this whole video with my mic, my audio recording software, not even recording, 20 minutes, by the way. So I'm going to see if I can condense everything in here to under 20 minutes or 10 minutes. So first things first, quartermaster gives you all your skills. There are 8 total skills in the division as of now. Perhaps they'll probably add more. I don't know. And if they do, great. That will probably increase the diversity, which right now is not even lacking. And he also gives perks. So let's start out with the perks, because I know that the perks are some of the things that a lot of people would advise you to do. And then I'm going to go into the skills, which are quite secondary. So when you start the game, you are given the option to pick this perk, which is a weapon slot perk. And so you pick it, and that's the only option you're given. They're not going to let you do anything just yet. But let me tell you how you can actually walk through selecting the best perks to help you out when you first start the game. Once you pick this, the very next perk you need to go for is the XP perk. This gives you headshot accolade perks. You kill an enemy with a headshot, you get XP. Multi-kills, you get XP. If you hit weak points, you get XP. If you explode and blow up stuff that kills an enemy, you get XP. If you don't die for a long amount of time, you get XP. You need all the XP that you can get so that you can level up. I mean, it's very, very nice to be able to see your agent actually level up as they're progressing through the game in a significant way because of all these XP gains. So you want to make sure you upgrade all of this. When you're done upgrading all of this, I will suggest that you go for more armor kits. This says you can now carry 1 more armor kit for a total of 4. So the game gives you 3. And if you play carefully, you can do your initial missions and your initial activities with 3 armor kits. Do not rush. If you're rushing everywhere, you're going to get melted. Even if you're carrying 6 armor kits, if you rush, you're going to get killed. Because, you know, what's the use of you being on the floor and having 6 armor kits? So you still have to play very carefully. But this is the third thing I would ask for you to upgrade immediately you're done with your XP accolade upgrades. So go for your armor kits and then go for your inventory space. So this is the order. The first one that they make you do. The second is the XP. Third is the armor kits. And don't even go for 6. I would just go for like maybe 4 or 2 first, and then immediately jump to my inventory, which is pretty much very critical because you're gonna need to be able to pack up a lot of loot. And so that's what you want to do. You want to gather as much loot, because even if you're not going to use them, you can still deconstruct them and use them to craft other materials in the future. So that's what you want to do. Then you can start looking at the others, which allow for detection of loot once you start donating materials to your control points, and also detection of enemies. There are also perks that allow for you to be able to get extra crafting materials, and also a chance for a rare material to be awarded when you deconstruct. So this is another one that you should definitely prioritize even before all these so-called mod perks. These mod perks, I have not seen much of a use for most of them, so I'll just stay away from them for now until you eventually advance through the game. And then your resources, this allows you to carry a lot more resources. So as you're going around and picking up things inside the little chests and backpacks and totes and containers on the road, those resources, you have an amount of them that you can hold, a max cap. And so this would increase how much of them you can pick up, because you can use those resources to supply your control points and to do some really cool stuff. There are also perks here. This is for bounties. This allows you to get more bounties. I have not even touched the bounty. These things, they're so hard. Golly. And so I want to do them with friends. And this allows for loadouts. I would not really touch this until I still need to do one. A new equipment loadout can be created in inventory for a total of 6. Well, here we go. I'm going to unlock this bad boy because I need a bunch of loadouts, because I'm going to be making videos on build recommendations. And so that's why I'm unlocking this perk. This perk allows for the amount of signature weapon ammo to be dropped. And so you can actually go in. I can get more ammo for my signature weapon. This is a perk that allows for 50% chance for a bonus item to drop when opening a field proficiency cache. This now, for me at level 450, gear score 450, is actually very critical. So I have to actually go do this. But before I did that, I had to increase my stash size. My stash size is now, I think, at 150 or something like that. So that's pretty cool. This one allows for materials, so I can store a bunch of materials for crafting, up to 500 materials. So that's actually pretty cool. But these are the things you're going to need down later through the game. But the first three are 1, 2, 3, and then you can and then 4, and then you can start doing the others as you go on. So that's all for perks and their importance and the way you should actually. The way I would recommend, it's not the way you should, you can do whatever you want. The way I would recommend that you actually upgrade them in order to increase your combat effectiveness and just have a fun time. Now, let's go to skills. There are 8 of them. The Pulse has a scanner, remote. This is a remote scanner. You drop it and then it'll just start scanning enemies. And then you have a jammer. So if there's anyone, if you want to use the Pulse, I wouldn't even advise you use the Pulse at first. Get a bunch of other skills done before you even touch this. Now, when you open your first skill in the skill tree, you use a skill point. And then every other skill mod in that entire group of skills is just going to be unlocked by Shade Tech. So when I unlock this, I used a skill point to unlock it, and everything else is requiring for me to use Shade Tech. So when I get 10 Shade Tech, I can unlock this completely, which I'm not gonna do just yet. Your turret is your battle buddy. You should unlock a turret. I recommend that you do. The assault turret automatically tracks and attacks hostile targets, but this behavior can be manually overridden to target a specific enemy. This is one of the best utility skills, especially for solo play. Even in a group, the skill is actually quite good. Now, unless you're more advanced and you feel like this will work for you, then you can get the incinerator turret. This one just manually blasts flame in a very small forward-facing cone. If you notice, it just goes left and right and hovers like that. It doesn't automatically target like it did in the Division 1. And so you can see also the cooldown of your skills, the health, and your duration. Now, one thing I would say is if you deconstruct your turret or whatever skill before it times out, which is its duration, before its full duration, it will cut down your cooldown by half. So in the case of this turret, it just cuts down the cooldown, and pretty much if I deconstruct it after deploying it, maybe for after 10 seconds or after 20 seconds, and I know I have no more use for it, I deconstruct it, my cooldown is going to be reduced in half. So that's an advanced tactic that you need to be using. Also, your skills have mods. If we go back to the Pulse, there are multiple mods that I can actually install on my turret, on my Pulse and on my turret and whatever skill, and I'm going to show you where they are. You're going to be eventually seeing these pop up down the road as you're going. So I have an atmospheric analyzer, and so this requires me to have a bunch of skill power. If it's in a housing slot, I don't have that amount of skill power, so it's not going to do anything for me. This is also another mod. This is an exploded blueprint. What is this? I don't even know what these are yet. I mean, I haven't explored, but I know that they're mods and they can probably help me somehow. Well, that's not the point right now. The point is to get you through the first few hours of this game, the first 20, 30 hours. And there's a sniper turret. Don't touch it just yet until you advance as you go. Hive, straight up, this is your best friend. If you're a solo player, even in a group, this can revive a downed agent. It's got a very long cooldown time. So if you use it to revive an agent, if you notice, I don't know if the enemy here, if the character here actually deconstructed there. See, 3, 2, 1 or something. Oh, they just did the animation. They didn't even animate this. Okay. So you can use it to revive enemies. Now, if you're running solo, if you die, if you get downed, if you die, you have to respawn. If you get downed, you automatically drop this when it's not bugging, and it will literally res you back. It will bring you back to life. So you have a second chance with a skill like this. And this is definitely something you need to take with you if you're going to be running solo, because you will be. Some missions you're going to do by yourself. Some side missions feel like mini missions by themselves. They're actually really long. And so you're going to need something like this to kind of get you through. Now you also have a Hive Stinger, which just sends out micro drones to attack and distract enemies. You have Restorer. This one's is just a healing thing. It just heals allies. And I think it heals you too. And this is the amount of health it has. And this is the HP that it's dumping. So it's pretty cool. And then now you have the Booster, which gives a buff to nearby allies and increases your combat effectiveness. So maybe more damage, maybe more accuracy, maybe higher rate of fire. I don't know what all it does. I need to unlock it, but if you notice I have not unlocked it, that shows that it's not the primary thing for me. Chem launcher, very good utility one to unlock. And if you notice how I've unlocked my chem launcher, I unlocked the healer one, the reinforcer, which reinforces your armor and anybody that stands inside of it. So this works for a group play, but I would advise that when you get something like this, try and build around it. There are a lot of mods and gear sets, and I said gear sets, sorry, brand sets. Gear sets are not in the game yet that actually enhance the use of this, and it has 3 charges, which is actually pretty cool. And it's pretty cool. That's all I'm gonna say. Use it for healing if you want a healing mod for yourself. If you want to play super safe, you can go with this and your Hive revive, or you can go with this and your turret. It just depends on what you want to do. But Hive revive is a no-brainer for a solo player, and even in a group play. That way you're not causing a lot of issues for people to come and res you every time. And then you have the oxidizer. This one it releases a corrosive gas that destroys enemy armor, skill proxies, and causes damage over time. Cooldown is 18 seconds. Very, very useful when you have a cooldown like that. I mean, especially for these are some of the best. I mean, are you kidding me? 18 seconds? You can get these things back just going. I mean, it's ridiculous. So consider using it versus like the Hive healing, like this one here, the Hive revive. This restorer has a 218 second cooldown, but its duration is 60 seconds compared to chem launcher over here, which has a 6-second duration. So there's a trade-off, so make sure you understand that trade-off when you're going in. Firefly, I have not touched it yet. I probably need to go test and see its effectiveness. There's a blinder, there is a burster, which just goes in there and just pretty much attaches explosive charges to targets, and then they'll just detonate if they get close to each other. It's crazy. So this is kind of something you can just use to play with. Now there are brand sets that actually augment your Firefly, so I need to see what they do. One of them is a Murakami brand set, and so that's pretty cool. Then you also have a Demolisher. So if you notice, I unlocked this one just because I wanted to see what it does, and I still haven't had time to get around it. And so that's how much stuff is in the Division 2. It's crazy. Seeker Mines. This is your explosive seeker mine. I think this one you have to manually send it to the target that you want it to go to, and I think this one as well. This is the air burst. This one goes to a direction and it will just blow up in the air. If you look at the animation on the side, it kind of shows you. Now your cluster seeker mine is automatically targeted. That's why I've unlocked this one as well, because I can just drop it and then its job is just to go and destroy a whole bunch of enemies. When it comes to cooldown is pretty reasonable. And so a skill like this, you're not going to be able to deconstruct it unless maybe there are no enemies around you and you drop them, and then you can deconstruct it and it will reduce your cooldown time. But once it explodes, you got to wait the whole 82 seconds before you can get it. Damage is actually pretty decent, about 94,000, so that's not bad. And then this it can deploy and go for multiple enemies automatically, and I love it. I love auto targeting skills. I'm a PvE player. PvP players, most PvP players don't like auto targeting skills. Now this is your drone. Very nice skill to go with. You have a striker drone that can just fly and start doing damage. Please note that its health is actually pretty low compared to Mr. Turret over here. It has 101,000 HP. So if you say, oh, the drone looks really nice, well, if an NPC like sneezes on it, it's gonna disappear. Like it's gonna explode. So it doesn't have a lot of health. So I would say the scenario you run something like this, a striker drone, is if you're in a group and everyone already has turrets and stuff, then you can be the guy that has a drone that's going forward. You have a defender drone that uses a microwave to try to deflect bullets from hitting you. So that's actually pretty cool. And I think the use for this is when you're rolling with allies. Because sometimes you're trying to rescue hostages and they're senseless. They run straight into fire and die and ruin the mission for you. So that's just crazy. You got a bomb raider drone, and this actually requires an agent to set 2 points and then deploy a payload of miniature explosives between them. You also have a fixer drone, which is a healing skill that actually heals you. So the healing is actually pretty good. It's decent because you can also look at this little animation here. You can actually send it to an ally, to somebody to heal them. So whether it be NPCs or whether it be somebody in your group, you can do that for them with it. Then you have the shield. You have a bulwark, which is just a big old shield that covers almost your full body. You can only use a sidearm with it, which is an awkward animation, by the way. But you can get a 93R, which is a sidearm. So that shoots, that's burst fire. It's a burst fire pistol, and you have a lot of talents that you can run on a pistol that would actually work. So for many people that may think that a shield may not do some good work, there's a lot of work to be done. This is the Crusader. This allows you to carry light primary weapons except marksman, light machine guns, and rifles. So you can use it with an assault rifle, you can use it with an SMG, you could do whatever. This thing is amazing. Now, note that this is not going to cover your legs, and you can still get shot from behind regardless of whichever shield you use. And these NPCs will try to shoot you behind. They'll try to run behind you and shoot you. They're not as stupid as the Division 1 NPC. Well, Division 1 NPCs weren't stupid, but they're not crazy. And they're not just going to leave you to just keep, pushing them back. But that's your job as a tank, is to push them back. This is an assault tank build, so you have to have a lot of damage. And now somebody said that LMGs could be used with this shield in the beta, but I didn't try it. But I think the next specialization is going to be using our shields. I just know. And some people may say no, but I think it is. This is a deflector. This just ricochets bullets back to you. Some people have complained that this doesn't follow physics, and I'm like, oh my goodness, can we not have fun in this game? Goodness, this is a fun addition to the game. I don't care if it's balanced or not or whatever. This is just a fun PvE thing that you can do in order to just feel like Superman. I mean, I think sometimes the developers purposefully put these things here in order to just give us a fun way to play. Not everything it's a video game. Not everything has to be super realistic. I mean, this is a video game where you can get shot 20 times and heal yourself. Yet nobody wants to complain about that, but sometimes I hear complaints about things like this, which just makes me laugh, honestly. Cooldown is really high. It's got a lot of health. It has an active regeneration, and also has a holstered regeneration as well. So if you were to maybe walk around with it, it can regenerate some of its health, but I think you might have to maybe reholster it every time in order for it to get its full health. I need to go back and use it. I just unlocked it, so that's really fun. So these are the skills, and I would say the order in which you should unlock if you're going to be running some missions yourself is to get a battle buddy, which is a turret, and then get a hive or a chem launcher. Hive, though, with the revive mod, is definitely something you should do. So we're at almost 17 minutes, almost 20 minutes, and so I gotta get it. I said I was gonna try under 10 minutes, but I guess that didn't work. So thank you very much for your time and audience. This is the Quartermaster. This is the Gamey Daddy channel. I appreciate you for clicking and watching this video, and I guess I will see you in my next video. Peace.